This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview. Well, I'm here in person with Robbie McCrae, the CEO of Caracal Gold. It's nice to meet you in person. Robbie, what are you doing in London, first of all?
Fantastic to meet you, Mark. Lots of Zoom conversations in the past.
Yeah.
We came to London. It's the first time the Caracal team have been to London since the listing. We've come to meet shareholders, private, institutional, come to meet our service providers like yourself, our PR agency, our brokers, and meet everybody in person and try and get the relationships better than what they were by meeting everybody in person. And we listed here in London, so I guess we have to do it more often.
So a successful trip, has it been?
Very busy, very successful so far, yes.
And you head back to Africa quite soon?
Oh, we fly back to Nairobi this afternoon.
This afternoon,
yeah.
Okay, good. Well, let's talk about some recent news from the company. This morning there's been some news, but also earlier in the week as well. Let's start with the news from earlier in the week. You released the first assay results from your RC drilling program, and you said it confirms the presence of high-grade mineralization. And this is at Kilimapesa Hill.
Yeah.
So I wonder if we can just for a few minutes just talk about Kilimapesa Hill.
Sure.
Tell us a little bit about it, give us the overview,
Sure.
and then we can go into the results.
Sure. So Kilimapesa Hill was our priority exploration target within our license area. It's covered by our mining license. It's where we have our underground and open cast operations. So we're mining the hill to feed our processing facilities at the moment. So it was our focus. We had to get in there and drill it out first. I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. We've extended the strike from 300-400 meters to 1.875 kilometers. We believe we're going to extend that strike 400 meters in one direction, 400 meters in the other direction, 300 meters in the other direction. So we're looking at a strike of mineralized strike on the hill of over 2.5 kilometers. It's a big number. The previous resource, there was very little drilling done to get us to the previous resource. We've put in over 100 RC holes into the hill now. I think it's 10 times more drilling that was done on the hill than in the past. We've put in over 12 diamond holes already into the hill. So we've committed a lot of management time, effort, and money into the hill. And on the basis that we're going to put out an increased mineral resource estimate, but also an improved confidence mineral resource estimate at the end of June. So yeah, I mean, Kilimapesa Hill is the heart of our operation. Mm-hmm. It's where we're mining our gold, it's where we focused our exploration, and where we're going to be announcing some good news going forward. Mm-hmm. The bonus was, we had some great high-grade intercepts. Mm. And I'm not sure if the market fully understands. I mean, when we're announcing those high-grade intercepts, we have the infrastructure, we have the mine in place to immediately go in and access that. We don't have to go in and develop the open cast or develop the underground. This is material that can be accessed, or by continuing to do the mine develop, can be accessed through our mining operation. So it's great. And Kilimapesa Hill has been a big focus.
Well, let's talk about some of the intercepts then.
Yep.
And maybe let's try and put it into sort of some layman's terms for people to understand the grades. The grades did look very high. Am I right in saying that?
They're good.
They're good.
I mean, Kilimapesa Hill, the current resource is just over 670,000 ounces at 2.4 grams per ton. We've got a lot of experience with the ore body, and I mean, we've come out. We mine a certain amount of low grade while we're mining the high grade portions of the ore body. And our plan, which kicked off in January, was to find a way of processing and treating that lower grade ore, which we put onto the heap leach. The ore body is zoned. Kilimapesa has high grade zones within it, and this drilling is confirming that. So that's what we're really pleased about. And we're pleased about the grades that are coming out and the widths. 12 meters at over 5 grams a ton. That's the kind of stuff that we're looking for. That's what we want to be mining and putting through our mill.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And Kilimapesa Hill, and is it literally a hill?
Yes.
And that's where the existing operation is.
Yeah.
And there's still a lot more
Yeah.
ore or reserve in there
Yeah.
that you're basically figuring out now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm confident. The end of June, there's going to be some good numbers that come out in that updated mineral resource estimate. So,
Okay.
And yeah, it's the heart of the mine.
Of the mine, yeah. Okay. Well, I noticed that you say the objectives of the drilling campaign were to grow the JORC resource to currently 670,000.
Yeah, just over 670,
Yeah, and hoping to go to approximately 2 million.
We won't get to 2 million out of Kilimapesa Hill.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how much I'm allowed to say and what I'm not allowed to say, but we're expecting a substantial increase in the resource from the Kilimapesa Hill.
From the Kilimapesa Hill.
Yeah. We announced that at the end of the second quarter. The drill rigs that have been drilling on the hill, as we put out and we discussed in that roundtable forum that we had, the rigs will move now to some of our regional targets, and we've got 7 priority targets which we'll tackle immediately, and that will continue to grow our resource, and we're confident as we drill, assay results, do the resource estimates, the target, we are targeting over 2 million ounces within the Kilimapesa license. It'll be the hill plus additional targets.
Additional targets, yeah. Okay, so the objective was to increase, let's just say, to increase the existing resource.
Correct.
Also to increase confidence, moving from inferred to indicated and potentially measured as well. And as you say, confirm strike and depth extensions. So would you say that these objectives are met, or certainly looking like they're...
We've ticked the box on all of them except this final mineral resource estimate. We've confirmed the strike, we've confirmed the mineralization at depth, we've found the high-grade ore, everything that we set out to do in the drilling program we've achieved. We've just got to put out this mineral resource estimate. The very smart geologists have got to run those numbers and review the numbers, sign it off, and then we can announce it. But we're on track for the end of the second quarter with that.
On track for the end of the second quarter for an updated resource. Okay, that's good. And then further assay results that are due this quarter, they will also feed into that, will they, as well? Yeah,
I mean, there's obviously a cut-off. Even once we put out that mineral resource estimate, there still will be some sample from Kilimapesa Hill in the lab, and that's from these extensions that we're drilling now. It's a process. So we have to drill. We then have to do all the sample prep work and everything, and get it ready to export on site. Then we have to get all the paperwork from the government. We have to get the import paperwork from the country where the laboratory is. Then we have to dispatch the samples. We have one of our geos stationed at the laboratory as well. They then have to assay. They then have to send the report to us. Our team have to audit the results. The independent lab has to audit the results. So it's a process. And again, during that roundtable interview, we committed the first results were coming out. We've got the process well under control now. The lab is delivering well. The next set of results announcement is imminent. And every 12 to 14 days, while we're drilling, there will be another announcement on results. That's how we've programmed it. So we dispatch, and as results come through, they'll be reported. So great news flow coming out of the exploration. And we're not going to stop drilling. We don't finish drilling the hill and the rigs go away because the contractor's using them somewhere else. We own the rigs. We've got 7 additional targets. We employ a drilling team. I have to keep them busy. They've got to work. So
good.
The results will keep coming.
Good. Well, that's good to hear, because as you said, there's a lot of work to do, and sometimes it can go a long time between announcements, and people are waiting for something, it comes, and then they have to wait a lot longer. But it sounds like you can, not guaranteed, but you can deliver, hopefully in the best way, a steady news flow to market of drill results and updates.
Correct.
So generally, it's looking pretty positive. Okay. What about these due diligence drilling that you did? You did 6 holes of due diligence drilling. What was that about?
So that's diamond drilling.
Okay.
So that's we've got a reverse circulation rig and a diamond rig. The diamond rig produces a higher quality core, and a lot of that we use for metallurgical test work. So the samples that we send out the country to do metallurgical test work will be from the diamond holes. They provide a lot of information on structure and geotechnical work, and as well, when you want to improve your resource, you want to go from inferred to indicated to measured, and then ultimate convert from resources to reserves, the diamond provides you with the kind of quality drilling that you need. So there's a lot of diamond drilling still to do, but the rigs are working hard.
Okay, so the diamond drilling will help you to really put more confidence into it, to build a much clearer picture.
Correct.
Okay, and advance down on that
Correct.
path. Okay. Well, I want to get a general update, because just this morning you released the Q1 update, where you say you have increased production plus processing output to the target 24,000 ounces gold. Yes. A quarter update is obviously, it's backwards, it's looking back.
Yeah.
So, it sometimes can be difficult to see if things are actually progressing. But one thing you can do, it can be a measure of success.
Yes.
Because if you've said the quarter before you want to achieve X, Y, Z, and then we see it, okay, it's looking backwards, but we can measure that against, what was planned effectively before.
Yeah.
So looking at that Q1 update, would you say things are progressing as they should? Things are looking good? Things are on track? Do you agree?
Yes. I mean, all the numbers improved. So tonnages improved, processing tonnages improved, gold sold improved. So yes, we're very much on track. We're a busy junior company. We're exploring. We are developing things like the Heap Leach, which we did during the first quarter, and we're producing, and we're running a mill and a tailings plant, and within that we're optimizing and fixing. So it's quite hard to put all of that information into a quarterly update. So the numbers talk for themselves. The improvement across the board. I know a few people might be a little bit disappointed with the number of ounces that we produced, but again, we're exploring, we're developing, and we're producing, and there's a trade-off. You can't drive your car down the road while you're fixing your brakes. You've got to pull the car into the garage and fix the brakes and drive it. So, but everything is programmed, Mark, and everything has been programmed and being driven to deliver into that end of year target. So yes, I mean, we're looking back across the quarter. I'm very proud of the team. I'm very happy with what they achieved, and we're on track for what we're trying to achieve by the end of the year.
Okay. So you say people might be disappointed with the amount of ounces. Why do you think that is? Is that there was an expectation there from the market, or?
We came out late last year, and we came out and we said we think Kilimapesa can do 1,000 ounces a month in its current configuration. We ran the mine very, very hard December and January, and we got very close. I think we got to 897 ounces for January. We came out publicly then and said, guys, we're now changing our focus for the new target. We've proved that what we have in place can do that 1,000 ounces, but we had to spend money on improving areas. We had to spend money on fixing areas. The place was in bad shape when we got it. We ran it very hard. So we're working according to a plan. And if the mill doesn't run for a couple of days because we're improving things, it's because it's programmed. It's because we've programmed to do it, and that will impact the production. But everything that we're doing fits into the plan with the target of the end of this year to deliver into that 2,000 ounces a month, 24,000 ounces per annum.
Okay.
One of the big keys and the big focus for us during the quarter was the Heap Leach. Without the Heap Leach, we wouldn't get to the 2,000 ounce, 24,000 ounce per annum. And we had to prove concept on that. You can't just build a Heap Leach. You have to prove the concept. And we built a test pad. We irrigated the pad, we ran it, and we poured gold from it at the end of April. So we proved concept on that, and that was a big focus for us during the first quarter. And we're going flat out now on the balance of the pads. We came out publicly, we said we're going to get in what we call it Plant 3, the pilot Heap Leach plant. So Plant 3, we came out publicly and said we're going to build a 20,000 tonne per month Heap Leach plant. And we 60-70% of the way there. I mean, the guys have started the earth moving on pad 3. which gets us to 15,000. Then they'll build pad 4, and that's 20,000 tonne. So we're coming out, we're announcing things, and we're delivering on them. So I hope the market can start to understand that from our side, is that we announce things. When we announce them, we've put a lot of thought and planning into it, and then we drive the process to deliver into what we've committed.
Yeah, okay. Well, there's clearly progress being made. That's very clear.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking back to the previous quarter update. I think, did we speak then? Were you also targeting 1,000 at that point, but didn't quite?
Yes, I mean, we obviously from September, when after the RTO happened, we ratcheted up the production, and each month we were improving, and the target was to get to 1,000, and we'd had a look at the operation, and we believed we could get there. We had a couple of down days during the month of January, and I think we had a couple of days down with a mill failure as well. And if we hadn't have had those down days, if we had got our 26 operating days in for the month, I believe we would have got to the 1,000 ounces. So for us, it was a commitment to the market to say we think we can get there, and a proof of concept for us. For us to come out and say we're going to do 2,000 ounces per month, 24,000 ounces per year, we have to have the building blocks in place, and we now know how many ounces the mill can deliver into that 2,000 ounce per month target. We know how many ounces the tailings plant can deliver into that 2,000 ounce per month target, and we've now proved that the heap leach can deliver X number of ounces into that target. So we've put the building blocks in place to do that. And that's not always easy to communicate. I might have to do an interview like this every week, but we can't. You know, we've. I think my message is during the quarter as well, we put a very strong team in place. We brought in people who've done this before, guys who've explored and found big mines in Africa, guys who've taken those ore bodies and done the feasibility study work, then built the plants and then operated those plants. So we've built in a team who've done that before with Rian, Frank, Paul, etc. They've imparted a lot of those skills and project management skills and exploration skills into the team that we already had on site. So we've strengthened the team, and the information that they put out, they wouldn't let me come out and put information out in the public domain if they hadn't have gone through it before and weren't standing behind it 100%. But building a mine, it's not like making a hamburger. It takes time.
It takes time.
And there will be challenges along the way, but the team is committed and we're ticking the boxes.
Yeah. No, there will always be challenges, and things will never go as smoothly as everyone hopes. It does sound like you are putting the building blocks in place, like you say, with the team, with the proof of concept, with the heap leach. I just wonder, so next quarter, you're still targeting that 1,000? No, I mean,
it's obviously we know the plant can deliver the 1,000 ounces.
Okay.
During quarter 2, we've been running the mill, we've been running the tailings plant, but we've also been optimizing and fixing portions of that. So we haven't had the utilization like we had of them back in January. So those numbers will be reduced, but we've brought the heap leach plant on now, although it was only in the pilot scale. So potentially some of the ounces that we've lost through the work that we're doing on the milling plant and the tailings plant will be complemented by the heap leach. And as we bring on those extra heaps, that production profile will build and build and build, and the market will start to see how we're moving towards that towards that target.
Okay. And ideally it'd be more than 1,000 ounces to meet that 24,000.
We've got to do 2,000 ounces a month.
You've got to do 2,000 a month,
to do 24,000 ounces a year,
So there's nothing specific stopping you getting to that target, is what I'm saying.
I mean, the conventional process, Mark, is you would drill Kilimapesa Hill, you would announce the resource. You would then do early stage metallurgical test work and decide which process was best. Is it going to be a mill? Is it going to be a heap leach? Is it going to be a hybrid with a heap and a mill? You then do some more drilling and upgrade the resource and try and get it. Then you would do a bankable feasibility study, and then you would go out and look for project financing or debt financing or component of project and debt and equity financing. Then you would go out on tender for the engineering contractors, the environmental contractors, all the people that you need to build the mine, and then you would start construction. To that process, 36 months if you're very lucky, if you do it really fast. 12 months on the resource, 12 months for the feasibilities, 12 months to build. But it's more like 48, 60 months to get there. We've been listed for 6 months. We've got production, we've got the resource coming out. We're a bit of a hybrid company. We're doing a lot of it at once. And we've got some ambitious plans and some ambitious targets to deliver into, but yeah, we're ticking those boxes. The opportunity with Kilimapesa is because of its hybrid nature. You look at our valuation where we're sitting at the moment. If you have companies who've got 500,000 ounce resource at probably the same or worse grades than ours, who are pure exploration plays, have 3 times our market cap. We're getting no credit for the 670,000 ounces that we've got in the hill. The hybrid, maybe people aren't understanding the story clearly, and it's my job, it's our job to explain that story and explain the opportunity. But the opportunity at Kilimapesa is, there was the previous owners spent $20 million on infrastructure. Just our infrastructure that we'd have to put in if we were starting from scratch would cost us 20 million. We've got camps, power lines, generating units, an underground mine, a plant offices. So there's a lot of pluses, but yes, I think maybe in a very long way I'm answering the question. Is there some confusion in the market? Are we an exploration company? Are we a producer? And we're a quasi. We need to unwrap that so the market can see our value. And we're delivering the news into that. The heap leach, for us, I don't think people really understood the significance of the heap leach. We had to get that concept proved, and we've proved it. It's going well. That's a major building block. This mineral resource estimate that we'll put out at the end of June is big. We put a lot of holes into that hill. It's a big announcement, and the confidence in it is a big announcement, because without the improved confidence, the mining guys don't have the improved confidence on the mining side. If the mining guys aren't confident on what tonnage they can deliver to the plant guys aren't confident on what size the heap leach plant should be. So it's a process.
Perhaps it could be not quite understanding the hybrid model of Caracal, let's say. It could also be market conditions. I mean, at the moment, we've seen the last 2 weeks have been quite a significant pullback on the main market. So there could be I think there's probably a lot of fear out there. But that will go away at some point, and sentiment will come back to the market, particularly I think to junior explorers. And it is just about getting that story out there and explaining what you're doing. And effectively, you've got a producing plant. At the minute, it's approximately 800 ounces a month, targeting to get to 2,000, to get to that 24,000 ounces. You're doing more drilling to build the resource above 670,000. And you're proving a concept with the heap leach, which will aid that production as well, so you can do everything on site. When it comes to, so there's 2 things here. There's first of all the resource. That has to give value to a market cap of a company.
Agreed.
And we'll see that end of quarter 2. Hopefully, or being
no,
definitely.
My team on site, that's cast in stone. That will come out by the end of quarter 2.
By the end of quarter 2, okay. And then the second element would be the cash flow, I guess, from sale or production of gold. Is there anything you can give on that? Or can the market expect to see numbers on that? Whether it's how much you're generating effectively in revenue, and then where that is going?
I mean, we all the money that we make out of the operation at the moment goes back in. We're funding close to $300,000 a month worth of drilling out of cash flow. I mean, it's a big investment. We've got 2 rigs, both of them running 24 hours a day, 24 hours a day, effectively 7 days a week. But the guys have some days off, obviously, within that. So we're funding big costs when it comes to the drilling.
All from cash flow.
All from cash flow. We've proved the heap leach concept. We've built these heap leach pads out of cash flow. You know, all the money that we make, we're deploying back in. Yes, I mean, the reporting and everything will get better, and it will get more in line with traditional gold mining companies. There's not many junior companies out there, I think, who, for the last 3 months, we've been applying a lot of money back into our mine development. So underground mine development, you put in the development, so you put in the development tunnels before you can actually access the ore. So we're funding all of that development out of cash flow, and we're doing all of that development because we know we had to increase the amount of tons that are produced out of the mine to feed into our bigger vision. So, and that's not something that's readily available in the market, but that's what we're doing. So yes, we're producing gold, we're making money, and we're reinvesting it into the key areas to feed into our overall bigger plan. Mm-hmm. One of the other things that the market is looking for is, traditionally, a feasibility study would come out and you would say, we're going to mine X amount of tons, we're going to process X amount of tons, and we're going to produce this many ounces, and this is what the cash cost will be, this is what the all-in sustaining cost will be, and this is what the capital cost will be. Those numbers are what we're working on at the moment, but we're building and working on those numbers at the moment, and those numbers will come out probably during the third quarter of this year. So we're not building this thing blind. We are doing all of that work, and most of the team are investors into other mining companies around the world, and all of us have worked in small and big mining companies around the world. We know we need that information, but we're not going to put that information out until we know it's correct. Mm-hmm. We believe we know exactly how much it costs us to produce an ounce through the heap leach, but we've got to do the feasibility study work and sign off before we publish it. So, yes.
So all that traditional work is going ahead as well.
And we're doing it live.
Yeah.
While we're mining, we're doing it. And the discipline that people like Rian and Frank and everyone have brought to the team, there's no premature information that goes out into the market. When information goes out into the market, it's correct. It's been through all the various technical committees and processes and everything. So when information goes out into the market must. I hope they know that it's correct.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it does sound, when you explain everything like that, and considering you've not been listed that long, really, it is quite a unique proposition. Yeah. I think. Yeah. And the benefit as well of having that cash flow. Of course, you're saying it pretty much all of it goes back into... Everything goes back into it. That would reduce your need to go for funding. Not saying you won't ever have to do that, but obviously it must do. Whereas mining companies would look to raise, to drill X, Y, Z, to prove X, Y, Z. There's less pressure on you to have to do that.
And what we're doing at Kilimapesa is making a regional impact. People in East Africa are talking about Kilimapesa. A tiny company listed on the London Stock Exchange, but regionally we've made an impact. We've come in and taken an asset that was on care and maintenance. We're employing just under 600 people. The Kenyan authorities, the Kenyan regulators, the Kenyan mining department are over the moon with us. When we touched on the executive team, which we've got on the ground in Kilimapesa and in East Africa. But, for instance, we brought Dan Kazungu onto our board. Dan's the ex-Minister of Mines, ex-Ambassador of Kenya to Tanzania. And Dan's function is to drive our East African strategy. Dan's able to go into, let's say, for instance, if he went to go and see the Minister of Mines in Tanzania, because we were looking at a project in Tanzania, Dan walks in there and he's representing a company who have an operating mine across the border in Kenya. He's not going in and saying, they're an exploration company. He's going in with the story, and it's making an impression. We had some fantastic meetings in Cape Town with Dan and the strategy that he wants to drive regionally. So it's Kilimapesa has been a great foundation for that strategy. But at our current market cap, we can't really drive a big strategy in East Africa. We need the market cap to go up based on the success of Kilimapesa to implement that regional strategy. We do have an asset which we've targeted in Tanzania. and the due diligence process has gone very well, but slower than what we would have liked with COVID and a few things making an impact on it. But when that acquisition closes, and notwithstanding the updated mineral resource estimate that's going to come out, those resources that we'll acquire in Tanzania will more than double our current resource.
Okay.
And so that's another value add which is coming soon.
And that's ongoing. That's progressing.
Yeah. Progressing. I mean, the speed on which it's progressing has increased dramatically now since Dan came on board and resolved a lot of getting all the approvals and everything that we needed done in Tanzania. So that's very close. And again, that asset we've now got Frank. And the structure and everything that he's brought to the exploration side, where he's run multiple exploration campaigns for major mining companies in West Africa. He's now come in, and the minute that acquisition closes, we'll gear up. We'll put a team onto the ground in Tanzania, and I believe before the end of the year, we'll be on the ground drilling in Tanzania, confirming that resource, expanding that resource, and growing our confidence in that resource. So that'll be the first thing into our East African pipeline that will come out of there. So and then ESG side is obviously also very key for a mining company.
Yeah, very important.
It's a big driving factor for our chairman Simon. He really drives that with us, and to that end we appointed Rachel. She's also a non-executive director on our board, and she's heading up that ESG side, getting more and more involved with the company. So there'll start to be some news flow and some more information coming out into the market on what we're doing on that side, on a structured side. So
you're building out your team, looking further down the line as to what needs to be accomplished.
My focus for Caracal, my ambition for Caracal was not to be a junior explorer. It was to get a producing asset in Kilimapesa, and off that build a mining company. And to do that, we had to put a team in place, and we had to put a board in place, and we obviously had to. So we've got the project, we've potentially got a second project, we've got the team to execute, we've got a board who is strong and supportive. We've got a main board London listing, so a lot of those building blocks to build something serious are there. And who knows, off the back of that, maybe there's, in our East African strategy, maybe there's a big asset which comes to us at some stage in the future when our market cap is big enough.
And that's what you want to do, build a serious mining company, not a junior explorer, a serious mining.
No, we want to build the next mid-tier gold producer in East Africa.
Okay.
I mean, there's West Africa's. There are lots and lots of guys who've been very successful. There's lots of 50, 100, 150, 200, 300,000 ounce producers up there. And you look at the activity, the corporate activity, the M&A activity, etc., which has happened in West Africa with Toro Gold, being bought out by, I think it was Endeavour I forget who bought Toro. But big deals, big deals going on. And East Africa, we haven't had that. Shantar, a great success story for East Africa, and I mean we follow them very closely. They've got good solid operations in Tanzania. They've got good operation, a great exploration project we believe in Kenya, just north of us. Kenyan guys are extremely happy with the work that Shantar are doing. So, but outside of that, it's big guys in Tanzania. It's the barracks. It's there's big boys there. So. East Africa's, hopefully we replicate what's happening or what's happened in West Africa, and there's a lot of gold in East Africa, but it needs to be explored and developed. There's a lot of gold in Tanzania where they're mining and producing a lot of gold, but outside of Tanzania, Kenya, Uganda, South Sudan, these countries, there's a lot of gold, but it's got to do the work.
Well, big ambitions. Let's just talk a little bit about East Africa and Africa in general, really, as a place to explore. The Indaba was, a week or 2 weeks ago, something like that. I believe you were there. What was the vibe? What vibe did you get from the event? Was it very vibrant? Was there lots of people there?
It was incredible. I got goosebumps just thinking about it. It was wonderful. People being able to meet face to face again. the one-to-one event where we were was rows and rows and rows of junior companies and teams of investors coming through and 30-minute meetings. It was incredible. The vibe was great. So we were there at the one-to-one for 2.5 days, and we had a meeting every half an hour from 10 in the morning till 5 in the afternoon. And then obviously some wine and some beer afterwards, and the meetings carried on. So it was great. Great presentations, well attended by the governments, well attended by the majors.
Africa's thriving then, really, in terms of this.
I think people have missed it. The one drawback was it was in May, so the weather was cold. I think everyone's used to it being in February when the weather is perfect. So even me, I arrived without a jersey because no one took a jersey to Indaba in the past. But no, it was great. It was fantastic, and we look forward to attending more events like that for Africa. I know there's one in London next week.
Okay.
I think it's going to be well attended. I think off the back of Cape Town, it's fully booked. It's going to boom. So,
did you meet any ministers, any government officials when you were there? Did you get any feeling for the support for activities in Kenya, but Africa as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we asked for a meeting with the Tanzanian minister. It was wonderful to sit down with him and discuss things for half an hour and expand on our ambitions for Tanzania and the project that we were acquiring. Him and his team were wonderfully supportive. Obviously Dan was in that meeting with me, and they know each other really well. So that was a great meeting.
You're going for Nairobi listing as well. Is that part of the plan?
Yes, we'll be the first mining company to list on the Nairobi Stock Exchange ever, which is exciting for us. The market in Kenya doesn't know mining. There's quite a sophisticated financial services market there, but it's traditional businesses, mobile phones, insurance companies, construction companies, this sort of stuff. So we're going to have to go through a process and educate the fund managers and the investors on mining. There's no doubt. Our brokers here in London, VSA, have an affiliation with the broker that we've appointed in Kenya, FIDA. And it's wonderful. They're transferring some of their mining skills. They've hosted a couple of online events, getting the brokers mining 101 for guys who haven't done mining investing before. The FIDA guys are very excited about it, and their plan, once we've rung the bell and we listed, we're going to have a whole lot of events and dinners and stuff around Nairobi where we'll present, and hopefully once people start to get comfortable with it, maybe we'll start to attract some money and some investment in Kenya. But the Kenyan government are very happy that we're doing this listing. Very supportive of it, and hopefully a few of the other mining companies will follow suit. And if there's a few of us listed there, it'd be good. Good.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. That was a very comprehensive update. It's good to hear that there is lots of support in Africa for these things, that the Indaba had lots of people attending, and the energy there was good. You've got further drilling results to come out, further assay results to come out, which the market can expect to see. And of course the acquisition in Tanzania as well, part of that. That's kind of what the market can expect. Is that right? Constant news flow, as well as the drill results. Any key things that you're...
The big one is the mineral resource.
The mineral resource, of course. Yes, end of quarter two.
That's the big one. It's we're looking forward to that.
Okay, excellent. Well, thank you very much, Robbie McCrae.
Pleasure. Nice to do the interview in person.
Yes, indeed.
Good.
Yeah. If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter, and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programmes at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.